So we're here at RuneFest. Matt, first off, what's your role in Jagex?
So I'm the Senior Product Manager on RuneScape.
Mm-hmm. And at the moment, what's the big thing you guys are trying to work on?
So really exciting. We're absolutely thrilled to be launching the beta of RuneScape on mobile this Monday on Android devices. So that's really, really exciting. Can't wait for that.
Yeah. Like a lot of the press got to play it.
Yeah.
Quite a few excited people.
Yeah, it's been. We talked about it first a year ago at RuneFest, and we've had a huge amount of work to do to get the game optimised for mobile devices. The main challenge for us has been taking what essentially is a full-scale 80-year-old MMORPG on PC and condensing that down to run on mobile. So, funnily enough, to actually get the thing up and running wasn't so much of a challenge, but it's been about how to make the user interface usable, how to make all the various systems and interfaces inside the game accessible to players. So we've done some limited testing so far, which has gone down very well. We've got pretty good feedback, and the retention rates and things like that were looking good. So now it's about going into a sort of full open beta, so our players can really give us that sort of in-depth feedback we need to determine, the rest of the roadmap to launch.
The thing that stood out to me playing it was the dialogue. That was a completely new UI and everything.
Yeah.
How much thought has gone into porting it down to a mobile UI?
Yeah, a lot. We've had a team working specifically on those interfaces, looking at sort of best practices in other games and how we can take the systems that are already there in RuneScape. And what I'm excited about is that may even lead to improvements on the desktop version as well. So we'll probably see tests on those sort of things happening as well, and it'll just make the whole game just sort of a bit less janky and easier to play. So yeah, it's going to be really cool.
So this interview will come out after RuneFest. Other than the mobile, is there any announcement that you're looking forward to that you think the fans are going to receive?
Yeah, I think what we've tried to do this year is, rather than promise things that are so far off in the distance that we don't have sort of tangible progress on it, we've limited it this time to the stuff that we are absolutely 100% definitely delivering. We know where in the past we've done that, and we've kind of tripped over ourselves a little bit. So we wanted to make sure this time everything's solid in development. We know when it's coming out. And I think we've got a really good balance of sort of content over the winter months that's being revealed later today. I'm particularly interested in the quests that are coming up. So we've got a really cool quest called the Needle Skips, which is just something really unique and very RuneScapey and unusual. It came out of a game jam that some of our guys did last year, and it takes kind of inspiration from games like Her Story and things like Scribblenauts, oddly enough. And it plays out like a murder mystery, where you kind of look for clues, and as you solve those clues, you kind of enter them into this kind of search engine, which basically then opens up bits of content and unlocks chapters of the story. All this is happening to a fully sort of voiced over dialogue, and the most beautiful music I've heard in RuneScape. It's just absolutely sublime. This piano melody that plays through the thing is just really, really cool. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. We've also got another quest coming out for Christmas, which is so it's our kind of winter update or Christmas update, but rather than focus on the usual kind of Christmas tropes with Santas and elves, we wanted to do something that's a permanent quest in the game, so rather than a kind of temporary event. So this time we've gone for something that is still winter themed, and it's a really lovely emotional story about a young girl who's being brought up in a family of Yetis, and you have to help her get from A to B, solving various puzzles along the way. It's a really beautiful bit of story, so I think players are going to love that too. Then we've got some really exciting stuff happening in the new year. So we've got the mining and smithing rework, which has been so long coming, but it's finally, we've got people testing that today, playing the beta. We've got content in there, for everybody playing through the skill, but also, the masterwork armors and stuff for players that are already sort of, maxed out. So there's, whole new stuff to do there. So that's going to be cool. And then we've got the concluding part of our Elite Dungeons trilogy, the Elite Dungeon Shadow Reef, which is coming in February. And this is kind of the conclusion to the story narrative around Elite Dungeons. It's also really good gameplay that you can do solo or in a group. And there's really, really cool looking boss that's coming out called the Ambassador, which we talked about a couple of years ago, but it's the first time it's actually appeared in the game, so that's going to be really exciting.
You talked about music. Obviously, we just had the orchestral performance. How was your part in that?
Really, really embarrassing, and it's been a long time since I've done any HMS Pinafore, Gilbert and Sullivan. So yeah, but no, it was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, just being up there next to the orchestra on the stage is really cool. I love the music in RuneScape. It's one of our greatest assets, and hear it played like that, it's mind blowing. It's like nothing I've ever heard before.
So, outside of possibility, you have unlimited resources. You can do anything. What is something that you would love to see in RuneScape?
Gosh, there's a very, very long list. So I think for me, it's about getting the balance right again for our players, so that we're able to release the type of updates that players want, keep coming back, but the balance feels right. This is why last year we were trying to do like larger, big scale pieces of content like the Menethos Golden City, but we just felt that it ate up so much time and development resource that it meant that we couldn't service the community as well as we wanted, and I think players felt a little bit starved of the regular stuff that keeps them coming back to the game. So I'd really love to see us just get back into that nice kind of routine of regular, punchy, impactful releases. That I think we've made, this year's been much better for that. I think, going back to the stuff we did earlier in the year with, we had like the Clue Scrolls overhaul, the deep sea fishing, had the player-owned farm, which I love. That's a really cool bit of content, and all of these things that are just keeping our players, and just keeping the game alive. And for me, we're getting to a point now where the game's able to run and run, and what I really want to see is it stays with our players forever. It should be there. It's got such an important part in their life and their how they grew up, and we always want it to be there. And this is why players probably have less time these days than they used to. Maybe they're not at school anymore, maybe they're working or families, and so this is why we're bringing out RuneScape to mobile, and not just a cut down version or a companion. It's the full thing. It's the full game, and that's what I think is a real big opportunity for us.
All right, thanks a lot.
Cool. Thank you very much.